am now live. Hello, Instagram Live. It is me, Lisa, the Love Coach, and today I am talking about alpha men. Oh my God, all the women want an alpha man. And they ask me, what do alpha men want? How do I get an alpha man? Why aren't there any alpha men out there anymore? Are men weak? Are men like pussies? Like, what goes on with men? Wow. So I decided to share some intel because it's very important that if there are women out there who want an alpha male, they need to know what an alpha male wants in a woman, because there's disconnect. There are a lot of women out there, oh, I want an alpha man. I want an alpha, strong alpha man. But they don't know that the way that they are being is actually repelling the alpha male. It's turning them off. So I decided to put a list of 5. I have more. I'm going to write a blog about this because it's such a hot topic. Everybody wants an alpha male these days. And few people know what that even means, what's involved in that. And they just like, I want an alpha male. I want to be with an alpha male. But they don't understand the responsibility and like what they must become as women in order to like roll with these kinds of men. So I spoke to a bunch of alpha males. I'm actually in a relationship with one. And I only date them. I made a commitment to myself. I said, I am only available for alpha male. And therefore, I must become the kind of woman that type of man wants to be with. So I set out on this journey to become a greater version of myself, more feminine. But I'll get into this list of 5 hot things that these alpha men say that they want in a romantic partner. Okay, the first one, and they're not in any order, I'm just going to throw them out there. What do alpha men want in women? Okay, they do not necessarily want the woman who is hot. They want the woman who is classy, elegant, pretty, attractive to him. So alpha men who are interested in commitment, because there are alpha men out there who are in a season of their life where they're bachelors, but they can still be alpha men. They're just, focusing on their career. They're focusing on other things. They don't necessarily want to be in a full-blown relationship, but they still are alpha. Those men are all about, totally having like the hottest woman on like possible on their arm. It's like a trophy thing. Got it. But when they are ready to be with someone, like legit be with someone, they are more interested in the woman who carries herself with elegance and class and grace, than that in your face, super hot, boobs out, skirt high. Like they're into that elegant where heads are going to turn, but they're going to say, wow, what a gorgeous woman. Not, wow, what a hot piece of ass. I'd love to do with that. Do you see the difference? So, ladies, how do you interpret this? How do you, use this information to make a choice for yourself? Well, one, you could dress age appropriately. Look at your closet, look at your stuff, look at your body type, and dress appropriately for your age and your body type. There are a lot of women out there who are dressing like whores, and you're overweight and the clothes don't look right on you, and you're trying to, be something or try too hard, and it's just not what these guys want. I mean, they might want it for like, a role in the bed, but they're not going to want to have you at their side for life. So Michael Martell says Jackie Kennedy. Sure, she was for many an example of a elegant, classy woman who is on, the counterpart to an alpha man. If you want to say President Kennedy was an alpha man, I would imagine so, because men in positions of power are typically alpha. So there's that. Okay, the next thing is alpha men want a partner, not a project. Alpha men want someone who can be a partner to them. They don't want a project. So what does this mean for women who want alpha men? It means that you need to do whatever it takes to handle your shit. It means that you can't be a project. You can't be some broken, haven't done the work on yourself, very immature, still carrying around wounds from your childhood that you refuse to do anything about, so that you blame people for your the way you are. Oh, it's just the way I am. That's the way I am because, this happened in my life. And so it doesn't make it good. It's not an excuse. It's time to grow up. So these men don't necessarily want to take that dysfunction on as a project. They're interested in a partner. They're interested in somebody who can teach them some stuff, emotionally especially. A woman who can, be their peace instead of their project. So I know, like, the stuff that I'm giving you today is, like, really strong and straight because you need to hear it. Because I'm kind of, in a place right now in my business where I've put out a lot out there about alpha males, and it seems like there are so many women out there who want an alpha male, but they don't know how they have to evolve in their own selves, in their own lives, in order to be a vibrational match to an alpha male. And it takes a lot of work. Same way as it takes a lot of work for men to be a vibrational match to a woman who's a feminine queen. There are a lot of men out there who want a certain kind of woman, and they are not a vibrational match to that woman. They're, still acting like they're 22 years old, and they think that they can just roll up to any woman and get them, and it doesn't work that way. So you need to understand energy, and you need to understand that we are all kind of vibrational creatures, right? We're all just kind of energy, all of us, and our thoughts and our emotions determine what our energy is like and who we're going to attract and who we're going to repel. So third thing, which kind of I alluded to, but I'll go deeper in it, it's they want women who are emotionally mature. They want women who can express themselves and their needs in a way that doesn't disparage or emasculate them. So it's about knowing what you want, what you need, and asking for it in a way that empowers and uplifts and inspires a man, as opposed to make him feel less than or wrong or bad in any way for, it's a lot of it has to do with the tone of how you're saying what you're saying. It has to do with the approach, the way that you communicate, being really mindful of interrupting. I know, like, this is such a struggle for women, present company included, especially highly communicative women. Like, we are already on to the next thought, especially if you're a very smart woman. Like, you're on to the next thought. Like, you're having a conversation and you're like thinking that you already know what they're gonna say, and you're on to the next thing. And you might finish their sentence for them, or you might jump ahead, and it totally, like, that is a thing that it's like really emasculating to men, and I never knew that before. And I did a lot of study on a true empowered feminine, how to be that to a man, and did tons of work on this because it was an area in my life that I wanted to get better at. So everything that I share with you, I did. I used to be a very masculine, fear-driven female. I was very much living my life from a place of fear instead of a place of love. And because of this, and I wasn't even really aware of this, because of this, I reacted to things in a way that repelled alpha men and invited in beta males. And so a lot of women out there are like, where are all the alpha men? Where are all the alpha men? And I'm like, they're out there. It's just, it takes a certain kind of demeanor, a certain kind of energetic countenance to attract that kind of man. But when you do, I mean, there's such a obvious difference between alpha male and beta, and I could get into that in a little bit, but emotional maturity is definitely something that alpha men want in the woman that they're with. So work on your emotional maturity. And all these things are things that I help my clients with. So all the women out there who are like, I want an alpha male, but I have all this stuff, all these hurts, all these wounds, work them out. And it doesn't have to take forever. It doesn't have to take years and years of therapy. You could hire me 90 days, get yourself handled, and then you'll see how radically different you are when you decide to go out in the world and just, live your life. And in that new place, you're going to attract totally different people. That's what happened to me. So the fourth thing is loyalty. Alpha men are all about loyalty. I mean, they want to be able to know that they can tell you something and you aren't going to throw it back up in their face months later. You're not going to use it to manipulate. You're going to really be a sounding board to them. And you're going to be loyal in the sense of this. I'm going to give you an example of an alpha male told me this, and I'm not kidding you. It completely opened my mind up. It blew my mind because it made me think about how I was when I was married and the maturity level and the loyalty level. And here's what he said. It was such a basic example. This alpha guy told me that he wants a woman. Perfect example. Because this is what I'm doing in my relationship now. This is kind of where I've evolved to. Because I know that there were certain things that I had to tweak in me in order to get the kind of guy that I want next in my life. Okay. And so here was the example that we were talking about. And I said to him, give me an example of how a woman would carry herself so that you know that her loyalty is with you. And he gave this example. It was incredible. He said, let's say, Lisa, you decide to go out with your girlfriends to dinner. And it's a Friday night and you're all going out to some steakhouse or whatever, some fish place, whatever, sushi. And you decide to go out, but you're with me. We're in a relationship. And you know that your girlfriends, many of whom are single, after dinner, check comes, they are going to all want to go chasing dick, going out, getting guys to buy them drinks, flirting, being that. At that point, or even prior to, we may have had a discussion that was basically you saying, so listen, Friday night, the girls are getting together and I am going to go join them for dinner and our reservations are for 8:00. So I would imagine we would be wrapping up and finishing by 10:30. So do you want to meet me there at 10:30? And then you and I can have a cocktail. We can either continue hanging out with a group of people. Maybe guys will come in too. And we'll be in a mixed group, or if they're going to continue just girls doing their dick chasing girl thing, then you and I can just hang out, me and you, and we can, have a cocktail, hang out, grab dessert, whatever. What do you think? Or if you don't want to do any of that, then can you, I don't know, do you want to do something with me after? Point is, when they go on, I am going for the dinner and then I'm done. And then I'm coming back to you, whether we go out or I come home, but I'm coming to you. That's the kind of loyalty that an alpha male is looking for. They are looking for women who know how to set limits and how to represent themselves as a couple, not as an individual. This was the most eye-opening thing to me because for all of my life, I was always Lisa first, and whatever Lisa wanted to do first is what happened. And the person I was in a relationship with was like this separate person, this separate thing that had to just deal with what it was that I wanted. And as long as I wasn't doing anything, then that's fine. But the problem is, an alpha man wants to know that the woman they're with will not put themselves in a situation that could invite in any trouble, confusion, drama, nothing. They want to know that like that woman is going to be like, I can dress up pretty, go out to dinner with my girlfriends for 3 hours, catch up with everybody, have fun, enjoy my meal, and then call it a night. I don't need to be hanging out later, inviting in other people, men, whatever, getting hit on. Like, I don't need that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut that off and leave. Antonio Gonzalez says it's really hard to find a woman like that nowadays. Now, Antonio, I'm going to agree with you. And I'm also going to say that the reason why that is because, like me, I was, this is like 50 years in the making. I'm 50 years old, right? So I was born in 71. And when I was a little girl, I saw my mom get divorced. I saw her have to like work and like rebuild her life. I also saw her meet my stepdad, and then they together built something, and she went on to get married again, and like I saw the whole thing. But I saw like the power that comes from being independent and having your own money and being able to make decisions on your own. But then as I grew up, I was operating as a woman who was in fear. So it was like I got a college degree and went ahead and had a career, not because I wanted to contribute to society or I found something that I love to do, but it was more from a place of scarcity. It was more of a place of men can leave you, so you better be able to make your own money. And whenever you're entering something from fear or existing from a place of fear as opposed to love, you're coming at it from a negative space. Therefore, nothing good can come. So there are a lot of women out there who are operating from a place of fear. And that's why they're so needing to assert themselves, and they believe that coming and going as they choose is a sign of power, a sign of independence. What they fail to understand, and I did too, is you have to embody the person that you want to be. Like, you have to become it. Meaning, if you want to be a wife, then you need to act like a wife. You need to be acting like a wife when you're out in the world. You need to conduct yourself like a wife. Example, 8 weeks ago when I met the guy that I'm with now, I was single, obviously. I met him. So I had ended something, albeit very brief, kind of got me back into the dating thing again, and it wasn't for me, but good guy, friendly, ended on good terms, whatever. But I decided like, okay, I'm really clear on what I want now. Like, I'm really super crystal clear. And I arrived in a place in my life where I know that I want to be with somebody in a significant way, a very significant way, like married. And I never thought that I would be open to that, right? So I got divorced like 6 years ago. And when I got divorced, I was like, that's it. I'm never getting married again. I couldn't even imagine myself living with somebody again. There's no way. I had that type of love. I had that husband-wife dynamic, and I cannot imagine doing that again with anybody. But never say never, because when I was in my last super long-term relationship of like 4.5 years, there was a point in that relationship where I turned a corner and I actually went from no way would I get married to, wow, I have more to give, and I do want that stability and that union with someone. And I got very into my faith, and I wanted to be in something together, but under God. I wanted a God-centered relationship. Let's read this comment that just came in. One thing that I find challenging about dating is so many men are pushy and impatient. So although I'm wife material, it's hard to find a man who's willing to work for it. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of what I did, and I'm hopeful that this helps you. So when I went out, like I was saying, to this party, I went to a dinner party. I had to become the embodiment of wife material. Now, I imagine you are that too, right? You're saying it, I'm wife material. Be clear on what you think might be wife material, might not be what the man thinks is wife material. There are a lot of women out there running around saying, I'm wife material, I'm wife material. I used to say that too, and I was not at all wife material. I had a lot of shit to deal with in myself. But let's fast forward or go back to 8 weeks ago. I am single, and I'm going to a dinner party. And this dinner party was about 50 minutes away from where I live. I live in Sarasota. The dinner party was in Tampa. So I roll into this dinner party, and everything about me, everything from my way I chose my outfit to the way I walked in, because I was walking in alone, everything was in such a place of mindfulness that I was just oozing like energy of, this is a classy female. This is not like any other basic bitch that's out there. This is somebody that if you're going to step up to her, like, you better know what you're doing. Was I bitchy? No. No need for that, actually. It was the complete opposite. I walked into this dinner party. It was a party of probably like 15 people at a table. I knew the birthday girl and maybe 2 other people. And I came in happy, and I had a present with paper tissue, all girly, and I went over to the birthday girl, and I was like, oh my God, look at you, you look so pretty. And I hugged her hello, and I'm like, this is for you. And this whole interaction, these men at the table are watching. They're watching, guys, alpha men especially, they are watching every little detail. And so what happened was, at the table, because I was coming from far, I was like one of the last people to arrive, they needed to bring in another chair and place setting for me. So it created kind of like, a table, whatever, and like the server's coming and they're trying to do this. So it created a bit of like attention, but I was focused on birthday girl. I didn't want attention to be on me now because, oh, they're making me a setting and look at me, I'm so special. It was more about stepping away from the table. And physical communication is so much. I teach all of this in my coaching. I do it with myself, and the stuff works. So the physicality of it was me taking my friend just a few feet away from the table and just being really present with her and saying, did you get a lot of presents? Where are they putting them? Under the table? Are they safe there? Like, everything's going to be good. When did you get here? You look so pretty. Like, all of the little chit-chatty stuff to make her feel totally special and like it's her day. And then before I knew it, place setting was handled. I sat down, and then I put my bag down, and then I got up and I went around to the long side of the table, people I did not even know. But, if I'm sharing a table with people, I want to at least introduce myself. So I walked around, and I was like, hi, I'm Lisa, nice to meet you. So nice to share this table with you tonight. Dun, dun, dun. Said hi to everybody, went back. The guy I'm with now was one of the people I said hi to. He was paying attention to everything. Then I eat, I'm hanging out with the people on my side of the table, nice. And when it's done, I get up, we start mixing and mingling, and this guy, like, gravitational, like, we just found each other talking to each other. And other people too, but you know how that is in a party, you're like mingling, and then like you go off alone and you're talking. And it was like very fun conversation, very light, very funny, but we were getting to know each other. Point of all of this is about what comes after, right? So I already in my mind knew that the next person I have sex with is going to be the person that I am going to marry, period. Meaning I'm not rushing into that. I wanted to know for sure that this person was falling in love with me or already in love with me before the sex was had. And I also wanted to know that this was a man that I can absolutely see myself with long term. And that we were on the same page about marriage. We were on the same page about lifestyle, all of these key things. So I allowed weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to really get to know this person intimately without sex. Granted, obviously there are other things that can be done without like full-blown intercourse that brings you closer to somebody physically so that you know that when it's on, it's going to be good. But there was still that boundary. There was still that having to work for it, to use your words. I agree with you. I think there's a lot, and I don't think it's just men. I think it's women too. I think there's this impatience to enter an instant relationship. You go on 3 dates, you end up in bed, and then there's no sense of what's going on. One person thinks it's a relationship, the other person isn't sure they want to have something so serious. These are things that need to be communicated on and arrived to before the sex is had. I think that people are throwing their bodies around like it's an amusement park, and there's confusion. And then there's denial. So a lot of women are having sex, then trying to convince themselves when that guy doesn't want anything serious that it's okay. Oh, that's okay. You know, I wasn't looking for anything serious anyway. Honey, let me tell you, the second you are giving your body and your soul, because that is exactly what happens when you have sex with somebody. It's an energetic exchange on the deepest possible level. When you do this, it is a big deal. It's always a big deal. It's a bigger deal for women than it is men because of just the way we are energetically. We bring life into the planet. We're designed energetically to breathe life into the planet. So because of this, we are very energetically connected to the divine, to life. Not to say that men aren't connected to God. They absolutely are. That's a faith conversation. It's completely different. But what I'm saying is, from a transmutation, meaning like women are sponges of energy. We are absorbent of energy. We're highly empathic because we are built to bring life into the planet. So when we have sex with people, we are taking on all of their energetic debris, all their toxicity, all their wounds, all their fears. On an energetic level, we are taking all of that in. So this is why it's so important to wait, because when you wait, you have the person work for it. And what does it mean, work for it? Well, it means courtship. It means getting to know you and earning your trust, earning your feeling safe, right? Proving to you that you can feel safe with him. And men are impatient and they are not allowing that time. And the reason why these men are impatient is because they're probably not ready and they're probably not marriage-minded. Marriage-minded men will say things like this. And the reason why this is so fresh in my mind is because I'm going through it currently. They will say, I really like what we have. I like what we're doing. And I want to take my time with you. Not only is that like such a sexy ass hot thing to say, because look, alpha men, let's face it, they have self-control. Alpha men are disciplined, they are strategic, they handle businesses, they are, you know, very measured and very deliberate in everything they do. And so when you are with these men and you are holding yourself in an energy of high value queen energy, where I don't care how hot you are, I don't care how nice your house is, I don't care what you drive, I don't care how many restaurants we go to, I love all this and it's wonderful, but there are like 27 things that I need to know about you before that level can happen. And that's what's going to get that guy to want to talk to you every day on the phone for 2 hours or more. He's going to not know what more to do for you. He's going to want to schedule dates, plan dates, have time together. He's going to ask you, what are you up to this week? What's your schedule like this week? He's going to want to insert himself into your life before he inserts himself into you, if that makes sense. So it's our responsibility as women to set the pace of the relationship. If a guy is being pushy with you, it is up to you from the very beginning to be very clear about what it is that you're looking for and how you roll. So on my first date with this guy, we were both super single. In fact, I even said like I was remaining single until like I met a man who could potentially be my husband. I was not interested in just dating to date for entertainment. I was not interested in dating for a boyfriend. I already did that, had a boyfriend. He was a wonderful boyfriend, but I'm looking for a husband. And when I stepped into that, I was like, I have to go about this completely different. So I have to, or better said, I get to hold myself as a wife. I get to behave as a wife, somebody's wife, before they are even in my life. So I went to this party dressed like a wife. I conducted myself as a wife. I left the party as a wife. I had a certain amount of cocktails and then I cut myself off. I was drinking, seltzer water with like cranberry so that it looked like a vodka soda so nobody would give me shit. And, they asked me, can I get you a drink? And I was like, I'm just drinking like vodka soda. Soda with cranberry because I have to drive home. And that in itself was a thing that this man said was a turn on to him. The fact that I drove an hour away from my home to be at this party and that I didn't leave my car at the restaurant, get all liquored up, get a ride with somebody, crash at somebody's house. That's not wife. That's not wife. That's party girl. So ask yourself, in life, at this juncture in your life, at this stage in your life, are you conducting yourself as wife or are you conducting yourself as party girl, single girl? This matters. It matters because you need to be an energetic match to what it is you want. If you want a husband, you need to start acting and behaving like a wife, because those men, alpha men especially, they are looking at every little detail to know the difference between, is that girl a wife or is that girl someone that I can just like hook up with for a couple of months and, be a boyfriend to have some fun with, and then like not somebody I'd marry, but somebody that's marriage material, like that guy is going to come at you completely differently. So I hope that helps you. I'm so grateful for your question and your comment. Antonio says that he will not get married again. 23 years was enough. Okay. The next lady I find, it's going to be all about her. Well, Antonio, I'm going to challenge you to open up your mind because you're speaking out of two sides of your mouth. One side says, I'm never getting married again, 23 years is enough. And the next, you say, the next lady I find is going to be all about her. Do you mean that she's going to be all about her or that you're going to be all about her? I'm not really clear on what it is that you're saying. And clarity is power. You are one of a kind. Your boyfriend is a lucky man. Thank you for that. Okay, my beautiful friend, much love and respect. Nice. With what happened to me, it's hard to get over it. I'm still trying to find myself and learn to love myself again. That's a very important comment. So, and actually, before I get into that, I want to give you the fifth thing that alpha men look for. I kind of went into it, but I want to like really define it. And that is, alpha men are looking for and value feminine women, right? And feminine women, not feminist women, feminine women, right? Women who are proud to be a woman. and not in an angry, bitter, I don't need a man kind of way. In actually quite the opposite. A woman who is not threatened by men on any level because she understands the value of men. That's what a feminine woman knows how to do. She knows it at her core. She knows that she is different from men, and she loves that she's different from men. And she wants men to be men. She doesn't want men to just be hairy women. And she doesn't have a chip on her shoulder or any bitterness about men. She adores men. She's entertained by men. She finds them fascinating. She wants to learn about men. She doesn't want to have this push-pull antagonistic relationship with men. She wants to be compassionate and a confidant, somebody that he can trust, somebody that she can trust, a respectful partner, and equals while being unequal. Because there are things that women bring to the table that men do not, nor should they. And there are things that men bring to the table that women do not, nor should they. So it's appreciation of our differences and a celebration of those differences. And a lot of women, today's women, who have gone down this feminist path of crazy, which I believe is nothing more than a Marxist tactic to divide the family and destroy the family and put men against women and pit them against each other so that we have population control and no more family rooted under some kind of higher power. But that's like a whole other video for another day. But I do believe that feminism is a cancer in this culture that we're in. And it was deliberate, it was intensified, and it was steered in a way that was intentionally divisive. So the more feminine you can be, and in my coaching, I help super type A, go-getter type women who do well for themselves to step into their feminine side. And in that, they do a lot of healing. They come to terms with a lot of things that drove men away, good guys too. And they end up coming away wiser, and they feel better in themselves. And then they start to attract men who want to genuinely care for them and do for them and have much to offer them. Not just fun times, let's go out, let's have sex, and let's just like float around together, but someone that they can build a significant life with. A life of accomplishment, a life of peace and security. So those are the 5 things that alpha men want in women. I am Lisa, the love coach. And if any of this resonated with you and you want to do a session with me, you can DM me if you're finding me here on Instagram. I welcome the DMs. I respond pretty quickly. I try to get back to everybody rather quickly. You could also go to LoveQuestCoaching.com. That's my website. There you will find a love life assessment that you can take. You can also find a quiz that will tell you what your love block is and how to get rid of it. That's also for free there. So LoveQuest Coaching is the place to go to connect with me. You can find me also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and TikTok. So if you're on those platforms, definitely search for me, Lisa the Love Coach, and I will find you there. Thanks so much, and much love to you. Bye.